Hello guys and welcome back. So we want to create some animation for this guy to look around. Now Unreal Engine is not the best animation tool. The best animation tool is something called Maya. It's a content creation package that is known for really good on things like rigging and animation. Not very popular with modeling, but it can do modeling pretty well too. It's a well-around software. If you don't know that, Maya is going to be it has been the industry standard for the last 20-30 years or even longer. It has a really long history. Anyway, let me just grab this model here. The model, Control B to find it. That way, I can actually go here and look for the static skeletal mesh and hit this magnified glass button to look for it. Right click, I'm gonna say Asset Action and Export. Okay, I'm gonna save it somewhere else. I'm gonna call this guy as skeleton mannequin here and save. Okay, this is gonna export it as a FBX. The format, I'm gonna change that to 2016 and export because my Maya version is 2018. Okay, this is Maya, and I'm using 2016 because it's more compatible. 2018, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and import that model we exported. It's gonna be in, oops, let's see where it is. Try that again, export. Over here, so let me copy that. Back to Maya, again, file, import, and paste in that directory, and I can change the file format to FBX. Okay, and then grab that one called SK mannequin FBX. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, my microphone is actually far away, so let me bring it closer to me. All right. So let's move on to deal with this animation that we want to create. In Maya, the navigation is like this: Alt and middle mouse button to pan around, left mouse button to rotate, right mouse button to zoom in and out. All those combination needs you to holding down the Alt button on the keyboard. So Alt, left, middle, and right. Okay. You can hit this button called Joint X-ray to be able to see through the geometry to see the joints. Okay. One thing to make things look a little bit more prettier is turn on this anti-aliasing, so that way you can see things with anti-aliasing. Okay. Now this is the bone structure actually. This side we have this outliner. Basically, it's a list of the objects. It's the equivalent of Unreal Engine's word outliner, right? They're all called outliner. Okay. You can open this folder. You can see that's the geometry, right? That's the joint structure. You can see the identical naming of the joints go all the way. That's the span upper arm, right? Left side. So that's basically all the joints you have inside of this hierarchy. Let me close that. All right. So at the bottom you have this timeline. That's basically how long the time is. I want to create like a looking left and right animation, so I kind of need more time than 30. 30 is 1 second actually in Maya here, because that's the frame rate here. You can change that to something like for our image it's like 60, so you can basically change that to 60. Okay, all right. And then what we can also do is tell the timeline how long it's going to be, and that's going to be this number here. I'm gonna say you are gonna be, I don't know, 3 seconds, so that's like 180 frames, right? 3 times 60, that's 180 frames. That's 3 seconds. You can play the animation and take a look at, it's 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's a little longer, but that's not the actual accurate time. But it's supposed to be 3 seconds. Anyway, one thing I want to turn on is this auto keying. This auto keying will actually key the animation when you actually move something. It's going to automatically drop down a key. So turn that on. All right. Now, one more thing I want you to do is grab everything here and say go select and hierarchy. Okay. That's going to select everything here. And I'm going to hit Shift and E button. What that does is basically drop down a keyframe. Oh, you know what? Let me actually go Control Z to go back. I'm gonna actually drag the timeline back to 0, and then I can do that. Okay. Key selected. All right. You can also just grab everything here and say right click, key selected, or Shift E, E as rotation. Don't know why it's rotation, but it's rotation. So that way you can see those red bars. That means they are keyed. You have a red dot, a red line here, meaning you have a keyframe. Okay, so after that, whatever you do, like for example, if you want to rotate this guy, you can select this joint and hit the E button. It's the same as our ranges Q, W, E, R as those different operations. So Q is selection, W is move, E is rotation, R is scale. So I'm gonna go back to E and just lower down the arm by dragging the rotation axis here. Maybe that one can also go in a little bit. Although that's not a very good rotating direction, but I can fix that. So I want to start with this neutral pose. He's not doing anything, just standing. Okay. All right. You can click any empty space to deselect. So frame 1, we're doing all these, right? We're just doing this. Now a few frames later, maybe let's try 60 frame, right? That's 1 second. I'm gonna say you will look that way. That means I have to rotate the span. So all three, I'm gonna select that, holding down Shift, and select that, and the head. Hit E button and rotate on the X axis to make it facing that way. Okay, so he's looking at that way now. You can see it's automatically dropping down a key. So now you can, when I drag this time slider, you can see we're having this cool animation looking that way. Right. A few frames later, on frame 120, right, I'm gonna drag the animation backwards to the other direction. Right, so he's looking at the other way now. Cool. So looking there and looking there, and then back at the last frame, I'm gonna grab everything here and type in 0 and hit Enter button to make it go back to, you know what? It may not be 0 in the beginning. Okay, that's interesting. So let me go back to frame 1. That's the value here. I'm gonna middle mouse click on the last frame. That's gonna change the frame without updating the animation, and then I can just force them to be keyed this way. So right click and key selected here. Select everything here, key selected. That's gonna give me another key. So that way we're like looking to the right and looking to the left, and then go back. Right? This is like a seamless animation, so you can always do this and repeat itself. It can be basically repeated, right? All right, so that's gonna be the introduction of the animation part. It's 7 minutes already, so let's actually stop here, and in the next video let me show you how we can give it some more realistic feeling of it, instead of this really robotic kind of like linear movement. Okay, see you next time.